Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective. It's Wednesday, Self-Care Wednesday. Right now, just a reminder, I'm taking a break from the self-awareness cards to just try to get my brain in order because, like I mentioned yesterday, in the perspective that didn't bother to download so I could upload it to YouTube, I just want to be able to give you my best, and right now I'm not there. And it's not for anything bad. I'm just readjusting to a new mindset and trying to let go of what I've learned is now what is called emotional addiction or negative energy dependency. So we can call it NED, negative energy dependency. But, and it usually stems from trauma or bad things or, just, it's a tool that I think helped us, who have been through weird and bad things, but it no longer serves. And so trying to move out of that dependency of that feeling and to realize that, we're all capable of living wonderful lives if we choose it. Happiness is a choice. And I'm going to talk about that later. But I thought I'd just go back to basics because, again, it's Self-Care Wednesday. So I'm going to go to the 12 steps 12 steps for self-care. I had to look up because I actually copied it off of something I keep on my wall, which I should probably read more often. But anyways, we're going to start with the mindfulness deck. If I can get any more cards to come out. There we go. Guess I just had to tell it. Come on, baby. Alright, that's it. Mindfulness. A lot of people wonder, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is... I read the greatest meme just now. It's it was talking about peace. And peace isn't about feeling nothing and blocking out the noise. It's sitting in amidst all those things and still feeling okay, basically, in your heart. So, mindful waking. Wake up and recite this verse. Oh, we had this one before. Waking up this morning, I smile, knowing there are 24 brand new hours before me. I vow to live fully in each moment and look at other things with eyes of compassion. Now, I realize I'm reading that, so I'm going to read it again in case you want to write it down. Or just say, you know what? Waking up this morning, I smile knowing there are 24 brand new hours to make this a great day. Fix it and make it work for, how you want it to work. But if you do want to write it down, waking up this morning, I smile, knowing there are 24 brand new hours before me. I vow to live fully in each moment and look at other beings with eyes of compassion. So look at other people with eyes of compassion. All right. Or, beings. Just anything, all living things, right? Or just nature. So it doesn't just have to be people. Mindful friendships. Think of a friend. Think of something you can do for them. It could be a small gesture to let them know you're thinking of them, or something bigger. Even small acts of kindness will improve your relationships and help enhance your compassion. Turn off your phone. Turn off your phone. The most distracting object we own, keeping us from mindfulness, is our phone. Constantly overwhelmed with the emails, the time, text, social media, the weather, the news. Your phone can be a distraction from the present moment. Choose a time in the day when you turn off your phone or leave it behind. Be present in conversations, be present with your family, and enjoy the time without it. I really like that one. I actually have a little container, and it's basically for anything. You can set it for, a couple of hours, a couple of minutes, a couple of days, a month, whatever it is. And once you push that button, you cannot get it open. Even if you try to take the batteries out, it will not work. I think there's some kind of internal timer in there or some kind of internal battery that you can't see that keeps that timer going, but it doesn't unlock it. You literally have to break it open to get anything out of it. And sometimes when I know I need to be away from my phone or, we get really tense and we don't want to say anything. So it's just like, you don't want to go into a text war with someone. And it's been a long time since I've done that. Last time actually was when I talked about on Twitter when people were just raking me over the coals for having an opinion. And, I was kind of thrown to the wolves with that one. But I knew I had to put my phone away. But sometimes I know that when my brain is just going crazy, my brain is like a freeway, right? And not one that's just stuck in traffic. It's like this constantly going and zipping and, it looks like those old cartoons that we grew up with. So, I just set it and I'll put it away for a couple of hours. I think the longest I ever did it was between 9 and 7 o'clock at night, 9 in the morning and 7 o'clock at night. And I was just like, no. And I'm not going to lie, I forgot to turn my phone off. So every so often I'd hear it buzzing, but I just flipped it over so I couldn't see it anymore. And I was ready to just put it somewhere else at that point. But I realized how less chaotic my brain got because I had to deal with whatever thoughts were coming in. And a lot of times it's why we play on our phones. There are thoughts that we just don't want to think about. There's things we don't want to face or deal with. And, the sooner we deal with it, the sooner they're out of our head, right? So, difficult people. Envision difficult people as your spiritual teachers. You can learn a lesson from anyone. So try to focus on difficult people and how they came to be that way. What can you do to ease their suffering? What can you learn from their behaviors? What can you learn from their behaviors so that you are not a difficulty to others? Why can I not read this? Maybe this is me. Envision difficult people as your spiritual teachers. You can learn a lesson from anyone. So try to focus on difficult people and how they came to be that way. What can you do to ease their suffering? What can you learn from their behaviors so that you are not a difficulty to others? That's a good one. That's a really good one. Set your intentions before getting out of the bed. Oh my God, my reading skills are terrible today. Before getting out of bed in the morning, set your intentions for the day. Set achievable, realistic goals and mindfully complete them. By the evening, you will feel more fulfilled having consciously achieved small goals. I can attest to that. This morning, I started having negative thoughts and I immediately put the kibosh on them and said, nope, I'm out. And I went to journal about it because I thought, okay, good. But I wasn't thinking, oh my God, this is normally what I would do is like, oh God, I don't want this to be that kind of day. I don't want to have these thoughts all day. But I decided yesterday that because I'm in this weird brain thought transitional phase, that I have to take small baby steps. I can't just take leaps and bounds. Because if I do, I'm not going to do this mental transition very good. And that mental transition, excuse me, is what I was talking about earlier, about going from this, emotional addiction, this addiction to emotional dependency of, or dependent on emotions that we used to have that carried us through. It served me for a time. It helped me get through a time, but I'm stuck there. Because it was such a long time that I carried these things with me. Almost to the point where it was like it was like my identity. How can I move away from something that became so much a part of me that I had to heal from? Healing doesn't mean we forget though. And that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking, oh, it's healed, it's out. But it's not. Healing means that I have learned the tools to deal with these things when they come up. When they, try to shatter my brain or shatter my peace. I have found the tools that help me move forward and progress so I don't sit there for too long. And so, it really is about small goals, baby steps. So set your intentions for that. Don't sit there and go, okay, I'm going to conquer the world today. Okay, well, conquer the world, but how are you going to do it? Are you going to just go out there and push a button and kill everybody and you're the last person on earth? No, that's not how it's going to work because that'd be sad, right? You don't want to be the last person on earth. And you certainly don't want to murder over 1 billion people. So that's going to sit on your head. But you make a plan. What can I do to make today better for myself? What can I do to make this moment better for myself? Do I need to take a deep breath? If you're like me and you yell at people on the freeway, you yell at your windshield basically while you're getting annoyed with bad drivers. Do you get out of the car feeling that way? If you do, you need to stop and think about it. I don't. It's a momentary thing. It's like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then I'm out. It's just kind of like, keep going. But some people don't. And there was a time when I didn't. There was a time when it's like a bad driver could ruin my day. And it was because there was something more in there. There was something festering inside of me that needed to be fixed, that needed to be healed and helped. So set the small intentions, set the small goals. All right. And last but not least, embrace the unpredictable. Basically, go with the flow. While it works well for us to have good daily practices, it is important to embrace the unpredictable. Routines are guidelines and our days, routines are guidelines and our days do not always go to plan. When this happens, do not allow this to become a stress. Instead, welcome the change as a new challenge or adventure and be fluid in your everyday life. So I like that. I like this one a lot. I think this is a good one to end the mindfulness on. While it works well for us to have good daily practices, it is important to embrace the unpredictable. Routines are guidelines, and our days do not always go to plan. So remember what I was saying. When you get out of the car, are you still angry at that driver? When this happens, do not allow this to become a stress. Instead, welcome the change as a new challenge or adventure, and be fluid in your everyday. I mentioned this before, and I mentioned this a lot. We're human. We're human. We're not going to run around this world like the Dalai Lama, all right? We're not going to run around this world like Muhammad or Buddha or Jesus, right? I mean, even Jesus had a bad day. He had a lot of bad days. He had a lot of bad days as an adult, but even as a kid, right? When he went into that place and just flipped the table and got mad at everybody and then disappeared for like 20 years. But I know. But anyways, my point is, people have bad days, but how we react to them, how we handle them is really what's important. It was the example I used earlier. Do we stay mad at that driver? That was maybe this terrible driver. Maybe they almost hit you. Maybe they cut you off. Maybe they cut you off and then slowed down and there's like nobody behind you and you're just like, seriously? The point is, you can decide how you proceed with that. I mean, yeah, you might say, are you kidding me? See, a lot of times when I get mad at people on the freeway, it's because I get nervous and it's a natural reaction for me. But now I find that because everywhere else in my life, I seem to do okay. It feels like it's a release for me, but I don't go out purposely driving to yell at people. I don't. But I do find that, I don't hold on to it as long. But the thing is, somebody cuts you off, they slow down, you get pissed off, you're still in that lane, change lanes. If there's nobody behind you, that means the freeway is probably pretty empty. Change lanes if you can. Or just take a few deep breaths. If you're still holding on to it, maybe you do this and like, seriously, you're fucking kidding me? You might flash them with your high beams and, I swear nobody uses their rear view mirror anymore anyway, so they're not going to notice that. But, and sometimes they might, so be careful. Be careful out there, okay? You don't know who's gonna try to hurt you. Road rage is a real serious thing. We had some serious road rage, I think it was last year, at the beginning of the year, or maybe towards the end of the previous year that went into last year, but, I don't remember what happened on the freeway, but some asshole pulled out a gun and, shot at the car, and unfortunately, a little boy was sitting in the back and the bullet went right through and killed him. I know. And this is on our very unassuming freeway in Orange County, the 55. It's kind of the gateway from, the Inland Empire into here. But, excuse me. But it was a very sad and unfortunate incident. Really stupid, really, to be honest with you. I mean, why would you be so mad? Or are you just somebody who thinks you're just better than everybody else? Which I actually think it was. But they were caught, thank goodness. Kid is involved. Kid ends up dying in his mom's arms. And, yeah, they were going after that person big time. So, it's those kind of things. Just be careful, all right? Be careful. I know we joke about yelling at people and all that stuff. I'm so sorry. I know we joke about all those things, but just do be careful out there. But, again, you can choose whether you hold on to that anger or not. That's your choice. You can choose to be angry about something that stupid, which it is stupid yelling at people. I mean, they're bad drivers. One day they're going to find the other wrong bad driver and it's not going to turn out well. So, if you are a person that has anger issues, sit there and just bless them. Please don't, I always say there, in my head, please don't let them kill anyone today, because sometimes they're that bad and you're that afraid for other people. But one of the reasons I love to do self-care is because I think we don't do enough of it. I think we do. Oh, I'm going to go get a mani-pedi, or oh, I'm going to go to the movies, or I'm going to go take myself out to dinner, or maybe I'll have a nice glass of wine or a beer, which I don't normally do, because I deserve it today. Pardon me. I am so sorry. I don't know what's going on with my throat. But, oh my God, I totally just distracted myself. Okay, so I've been going through a really weird episode with my depression. And like I said, I'm kind of in this transitional state right now where it's like I'm leaving the emotional dependency behind. And I'm really trying to just realize, like, hey, you know what? I'm healed. I've got this whole life in front of me. Yesterday when I was talking to older sibling, I literally was saying, you know what? What if the emptiness inside of me that I feel isn't emptiness, but rather peace, which is a completely unfamiliar feeling to me. Like just having complete peace. What if I've been racking my brain all this time over something that is literally a feeling being misunderstood? And so I reached out to one of my cousins who's like super, super intuitive. And I said yes or no. And she gave me a yes and then asked me about it. But then I thought, whoa. And you know, it's not that I didn't know my own feelings, but I don't trust myself sometimes. And so I know that when I reach out to somebody else, especially people that I'm close to and people that I really trust and value their opinions, I know that they're not going to lie to me. And I lie to myself a lot. You know, that's how I used to get myself through things. That's how I'd be emotionally dependent. I mean, I'm a terrible liar when it comes to other people. But when it comes to myself, you know, I pull the wool over my eyes all the time. Oh, you can do this one more time. You can do that one more time. It's okay. Don't worry about it. You'll be fine. You'll get back on the wagon. You know, and by that I mean like emotional eating. So see, you can see that all of my, what they would call addictions, are all emotional based. Emotional eating, emotional dependency, and they all stem from traumatic things. I don't know why that came out so dramatic. Traumatic things that happened in my life. And the reason I'm saying this, because I kind of forgot what I was talking about before, was just because, you know, I'm going through that thing. So, you know, when you have depression, sometimes your mind just, it puts the period on the sentence before you're ready to. So that's why I do self-care, because self-care just isn't about doing the physical things for yourself. You know, maybe, oh yeah, I deserve that glass of wine, or yeah, you know, I'm going to go get a massage, or I'm going to do the mani-pedi. A lot of it starts in here. We can get the massages, you can go to the movies, you can take yourself out to dinner, you can have that drink if you don't, you know, because you don't drink a lot, so you're thinking, okay. But we don't think about the self-care that we need in our heads, which is why I'm very adamant that no matter where I'm at in any of the perspectives, Wednesday is always Self-Care Wednesday. And I chose Wednesday because for most people that work Monday through Fridays, it is the middle of the week. All right, so 12 steps for self-care. And, you know, I've done this one before, but it bears repeating. So, number 1, if it feels wrong, don't do it. Simple as that. If it feels wrong, don't do it. I mean, let me put it this way. If you don't know what decision to make, good morning, Randy. If you don't know what decision to make, this is the decision you should try. If a friend came up to me and said, blah, 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 would you do it? You know, whatever your answer to them would be, especially if it's bad, and you would say, no, God, no, I wouldn't do that, then why would you do it? Sometimes I think we self-sabotage ourselves. Sometimes I think we're like self-disastrous. You know, I mean, which is just to me like self-sabotage on steroids. You know, like a walking disaster. And I've been a walking disaster before. I've been a walking hot mess. We've all been there. We've all been there. You know? I mean, I'm the only person I know that can fall down totally sober. I mean, I'm that much of a klutz. That's right. In fact, the funny thing is I've never fallen down when I've been, you know, inebriated. But I mean, my point is we all have these moments. We're not perfect. And that's the best part about being human, is that we're not perfect. And it's not because there's room for perfection. It's because we acknowledge the fact that this is just how we are. We're perfectly imperfect, right? That's how I like to look at myself. Perfectly imperfect. Because I don't have any, you know, outrageous, you know, things to live up to. Oh, I have to look this way every day. I have to look at, no, you know what? I did not want to put on makeup today, but I figured you deserved eyebrows and some mascara and some lipstick. So that's all I did. And it's not because I didn't want to put in the effort. It's because I barely made it to this show today because of my mental state. I'm literally fighting through it because I know I can't keep sitting in that darkness and that I have to find a way to push myself out. So it was perfect that today is Self-Care Wednesday. So again, number one, if it feels wrong, don't do it. Listen to your spidey instincts. Number two, say exactly what you mean. I say exactly what I mean, but I have learned over the years that there are nicer ways to say things than the way I sometimes say it. And I don't mean to. I think I spent so much time just hiding and holding back and just holding my voice that now it's kind of like, seriously? And there are times when I will agree to disagree because I think it's important to keep the peace. So be kind in the way you say things. Maybe you see someone having these bad habits, and the bad habits can lead down a very, very bad road. Older siblings sometimes, when I'm sitting there going like, oh, I really want fast food today, she'll be like, are you sure you want to do that? And it's very kind, and it's a question. Unfortunately, when you leave that question up to me, it's not a good idea. I'm the kind of person that you need to say no. But until until I learn how to handle the emotional eating and the emotional dependency. Or the dependency on emotions. But say exactly what you mean. Don't mince words. I will tell you, if I ever give you a compliment, if you see me on the street and I say, wow, your hair looks amazing, your shoes are awesome, you smell great, it's because I mean it. I don't give a compliment I don't mean. I will never give a compliment I don't mean. When I'm angry or upset, I might say things I don't mean. But that's what we all do, right? We do whatever we can to punch below the belt. But on the good side of me, when the devil's not present, the angel side of me, with the little halo above my head, crooked, dented halo, I mean it. All right? Number 3, don't be a people pleaser. Don't be a people pleaser. Don't sit there and, someone's being horrible and mean to you and sit there and go, oh, wow, you look amazing today. And when inside you're like, I really want to punch you in the fucking face. No. Okay? Don't be a people pleaser. If you're, some people, I know we can't help it. I am a recovering people. I have a lot of recoveries going on here. A recovering emotional eater, which I'm failing at. A recovering dependency on emotions, which I just started because I just realized that was a thing. And a recovering people pleaser. And they all kind of seem to go together, don't they? But don't people please. I know there are going to be times when we feel bad. Like this weekend. I was talking about last weekend. I had a brunch and there was a lot of people there. And it wasn't the kind of place where I could just get up and move around. It was pretty tight in there. And so I felt bad. And I kept, I walked over to certain areas like, I'm really sorry I didn't get to spend more time with you. And, and I was and it wasn't just because I was upset I couldn't spend more time with them. In the back of my head is, I really don't want them to be mad at me. And, if I were the person attending this and I didn't get to see much of the birthday person, and I'm not saying this to make myself feel better. I'm saying this because I've been there and done this. I would completely understand. Because it's hard to be one person wrangling a lot of people in. Sometimes that's why I think I prefer smaller birthdays. I remember for my 30th birthday, like a billion years ago, we had a whole section. And I mean, I really don't remember eating my dinner when it was hot because I kept trying to move from people to people to people to people because I didn't want anybody to be unnoticed. And that was the best I could do. I barely saw my parents the whole time, and they came up to surprise me. But the point is when we people please, we lose a bit of ourselves. Because we're trying so much to make one person love us so much, or a bunch of people to we're trying so hard to be the social butterfly that we keep falling out of the sky because our wings get tired. People who love you will love you. People who want to migrate towards you will migrate towards you. You don't need to fight to keep people in your life. You should not have to fight to keep people in your life. Okay, if you have to fight to keep someone in your life, you need to reevaluate that relationship. Because what are you getting from it? Are you getting pain, or are you getting this, oh my God, what can I do to make this person like me more? Or what can I do, or are they mad at me? I haven't talked to them in a while, blah, blah, blah. Friendship should be like, I'll use older sibling and our friend Lori, for example. These two can go a year without talking to each other, come together, and boom. It's like, it's like they saw each other yesterday. That's a strong friendship. They're both busy. Well, one of them is busy. And same with same with Randy and Mark, who are on the brothers. And don't see him for a while, then you see him and boom, it's like you just saw him the other day. And that's how it felt with all of my friends being there. It just felt like, even though I didn't get to spend a lot of time with every single person, it did feel like it was just this one big happy thing. And I'm grateful that I have the kind of friends that can sit there and just, ramble on with each other without even really knowing one another. Just, sit there having conversations, yammering, blah, blah, blah. Every so often you hear a conversation, you jump in way at the end of the table. So don't be a people pleaser. Like I said last time, if you have to fight for someone's attention or love, you need to evaluate that relationship. If it is a relationship, you need to communicate, and you need to figure out where there's a bump in that road so you can fix it. You can smooth it out. All right. Number 4, trust your instincts. To me, that goes with number 1. If it does not feel right, do not do it. Trust your instincts. But if it does feel right, do it. Use your spidey instincts. Come on, we all got a sixth sense. You don't have to be gifted to have a sixth sense. Everybody was born with a sixth sense. Driving down the road. Oh, I was supposed to turn right, but what made me want to go straight? Because I knew my turn was coming, because your spidey instincts are telling you not a good idea. And then maybe you don't trust those instincts all of a sudden. You go back and that road's blocked. Or maybe something bad is there. Or maybe you hit a nail in your tire that you probably wouldn't have hit if you would have just kept listening to your spidey instincts. Number 5, never, ever, ever speak bad about yourself. Ever. I know it's hard, and I know we're going to do it. But I stress the evers and the nevers. Because I think the more we think about don't ever do this, the more we are going to learn how to speak positive about ourselves. Today I created a meme. While I was meditating, this meme popped up in my mind. And today was about self-awareness. Ironically, right? Today's meditation was about self-awareness. It's the 7 days of happiness on the Calm app. And all I could think of was, I saw the justice scales, right? Or just the scales, And I kept thinking of one way up here and one way down here. And I thought, so I made a meme, and it says, don't allow your negative self-talk to weigh you down. And, are we even? Are we not even? Is the negative self-talk bringing us down? Is it unbalancing our scales? We have to think about those things. So never, ever, ever speak badly about yourself. I have to work on that. If you do find yourself speaking negatively about yourself, try to flip the narrative. Say, no. You know what? I'm not a failure. I've just learned how to do things. I've just learned how not to do things. Because I know sometimes we do. There's a lot of accomplished people in my family. On both sides of my family. And a lot of times I feel like I was left behind. A lot of times I feel like I let my dad down. Maybe even my mom. Maybe my mom's passed on. And I have all these talents, and they've always kind of really pushed me to do more of my writing. And the more I see on Facebook, some of the stories I've been telling about my animal charming, apparently I'm an animal whisperer. I'm just going to say it. I'm an animal whisperer. Animals listen to me and animals love me. Not all of them. My cat has her moments. But I think she's trying to alpha me. But anyways. But my point is that I do sometimes feel like a failure. I feel like I didn't do everything I needed to do. But I've spent the first 49 years of my life trying to survive it. I mean, I mentioned it yesterday, but I cannot tell you, and I cannot express it more, and it probably not be the last time I say this. The minute I turned 50, it still feels weird looking at myself in here and going 50. There was a real big exhale and real big sigh of relief. And I thought maybe it was because the last couple of days I was panicking about turning 50, because I was like, please let me make it to 50. I don't want to die. Please, all these stupid random things that happened in my dinged up mental health brain. But it was an exhale because I was so glad to be in the second half of my life. The struggle really was real in the first half. I had to survive a lot of things in secret without telling anyone, which is a burden to carry. I had to survive other things that happen as an adult that we don't know how to handle. But boy, the minute I turned 50, I thought, you know what? I know some people think it's old. It's not old. It's just a number. I mean, there's a lot of people I know that didn't make it to 50. And 2 of them passed away in my 40s, in their 40s. And I think, God, thank you. I mean, when I was 3 years old, I had heart surgery. When I was a kid, I could only hope to make it to 50. And that's why I cherish every birthday. That's why I make it so big that I feel like in my own mind, it's my own holiday. Because I know it's a gift. And, that's what the self-care is about. It's for reminding us this stuff. So number 5, again, never speak bad about yourself. And I have to stop that too. I have to stop thinking I'm a failure in my family. Because you know what? I'm not. I did a lot of good things. I've done a lot of good things. Success shouldn't be measured by how much we make or how much we have. It should be measured by how many people we touch and how many people that we're there for. Number 6, never give up on your dreams. Didn't I just talk about this? I'm going to be a writer. Never give up on your dreams. It's hard. It is. I would equate being a published author is probably as hard as becoming a successful entertainer. I mean, like actor, singer. And by that I mean constantly working. I don't mean famous. Famous, I don't know. Famous is a double-edged sword. All right. But successful, constantly working. I think a lot of times, people who go into the entertainment business, they just want to keep working because they love their craft. They love what they do, and that's great. And to me, that's what writing is. It's just, you really got to hope for those big breaks unless you self-publish. And you know what? Sometimes people self-publish and poof. I mean, look what happened to, was it E.L. James who wrote 50 Shades of Grey? I know. But look what happened with her. Nobody wanted her book, so she self-published and bam. People started pulling it off the shelves. And next thing you know, she's got, a publisher coming and going, hey, we're going to market this for you and we're going to put it out there. But these are the same people that turned her down because they didn't think it was going to do well. Shows you what some people know. So yeah, don't ever give up on yourself, okay? And if you truly, truly believe in something, Amazon has a online publishing thing. Look up ways that you can do it yourself, but don't give up on your dreams. Whatever your dreams are, never give up on your dreams. In fact, okay, I just have to sidetrack here for a second. And you know me, I'm good at sidetracking. So Sibling and I went out for a drive yesterday. We just wanted to go have coffee and overlook the ocean, which actually turned into some kind of weird therapy session for me. But just kind of like, this is where I had some of my epiphanies and thought, ooh, you know what if this is this? But on the way there, we were talking about a CSI class we took once. And I think it was just something we wanted to do. I mean, we watch a lot of true crime shows and, fiction and nonfiction. And I think we're just like, wow, what does this really entail? And so we took this class. And there was one horrible thing. And I even asked her, we were talking a little bit about this one case that the county forensics woman was talking about. And they had an expert come in, right? And it was a shoe expert. And so they're like, what do you want to do? Thank you for coming out here I think they were from Arizona. Thank you for coming out here. Do you want to go to Disneyland? Do you want to go to Knott's Berry Farm? Do you want to go to Universal? Do you want to go to Hollywood? I want to go to Nike World. That's right. They wanted to go to Nike World. And I don't think Nike World exists anymore in Costa Mesa. But when it did, I mean, this was like a huge store with nothing but shoes. That was their dream. I said, who wakes up one day and says, I'm going to be a shoe expert? But who wakes up one day and says, oh, I'm going to be a tap dancer? Our dreams are all different. They're all important. See, he may have, this person, I can't remember if it was a man or a woman, but this person may have said, you know what? I want to help people solve crimes by becoming a shoe expert. And you know what? Believe it or not, they said for the amount of time that this person was there, when they finally got them back to the station to look at the shoe, 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes. They knew their shit so well. Oh, this is a standard issue, blah, 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 from blah, 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 you know, when they get out of this area. Prison. And this is this is what they issue them. And this is where you can find it. You know, and this is the company, you know, this is the region that uses this one. Just like that. Because one person one day said, wow, I love this stuff so much and I want to study it all. And because of them, somebody's murder got solved. And it was fascinating to hear. She's like, wow, really? And, you know, like, I think somebody even mentioned that, you know, thank goodness they woke up one morning and decided, hey, I'm going to be a shoe expert. And some kids laughed, but I thought, wow, you know what? Everybody brings something beautiful to the table. You know, so don't mock someone for their dreams or their desires or what they want to go into. I mean, I'm sure that they took a criminal investigation course, you know, went to college and all this and decided this is where I want my expertise to be because I love this stuff. You know, it's like a geologist studying rocks or a person who loves crystals and collects them or a person, you know, who collects things, who can literally tell you every intricate detail of every single piece they own because that's how much they love it. All right. So never give up on your dreams. Number 7, don't be afraid to say no. If you're tired, if you're worn out, don't be afraid to say no. If you say yes and you're feeling all those things and you're feeling like you just can't do it, you are probably being a people pleaser. You are probably people pleasing. But also, number 7, don't be afraid to say yes. If you're just sitting there like a lump and somebody says, hey, let's go have coffee, let's go do something, let's go do this, let's go do that, push yourself. I know it's not always easy, but push yourself. You know, and don't push yourself into, you know, a point where you just fall apart. You know, just say, hey, you know what, maybe for an hour or so, because I'm not feeling all that hot, but I know I need to get out of the house. For me, yesterday, I needed to get out of the house, and I was grateful that older siblings said, hey, I'll go with you. You know, so it's like, yay, let's go, you know, we're going to go out and have fun. We're going to go out and do something. And we did. So, and it was nice. It was a nice afternoon. It was a nice breezy day. It wasn't too hot. It wasn't cold. So it was just perfect, you know, and it was a nice view. One great thing about living in California, you get nice views in certain areas. So, you know, don't be afraid to say no and don't be afraid to say yes. You just have to figure out where you're at. All right. Number 8. Oh, I'm sorry. That was 7 and 8. My bad. Number 9, be kind to yourself. To me, this goes with number 5. Never speak bad about yourself. Number 9, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Speak kindly. You know, again, think of those scales. Don't allow the negative self-talk to weigh you down. Okay? Being up here is not always great. Because this is what's holding you down. It's kind of like, you know, I don't know. It's like somebody picking you up without your permission and you telling them to put you down, but they won't. That's the negative self-talk. It is weighing you down. Like, this is you way over here, and this is your joy way up here. And you're stuck down here because of all that negative self-talk. So be kind to yourself. Do kind things for yourself. Do self-care, mental and physical. Number 10, let go of what you can't control, which is basically everything. Right? We can't really control anything. I think control, to me, in my perspective, is a myth. And I think I just learned that right now. Literally, I think I just learned that right now. No matter what we do, we can't figure out what's going to happen one moment to the next. You know, we might plan something and it may go on, target, but then all of a sudden, boom, something might come in. But it's how we swerve around it that makes the difference. So let go of what you can't control. Again, which to me is basically everything. We can always have a plan, but just leave it open enough in case the plan falls apart. Because then you'll be able to go, okay, I'm recalibrating, I'm redirecting, I'm readjusting. It's like when you're on the freeway and somebody swerves into your lane and you have to think fast. So you immediately look to your left and go, is anybody there? Nope. Right? But it's like this. You got to think so quickly. But you couldn't control that. You could have thought, yeah, I'm so happy and grateful that I have a safe trip to wherever I'm going today. And maybe it's the gratitude that helped you. Or maybe it's where it put you in such a good mindset that you were able to make sure, do I need to throw on my brakes? Is there someone behind me that's going to hit me if I do that? But you were able to think quickly. All right. So that's just an example. Number 11, stay away from drama and negativity. We talked about this yesterday. Remove toxic people from your life. And toxic isn't, toxic is people that just take from you and give nothing back. And then when you kind of put your foot down and say, no, I'm not going to let you do that to me anymore, they make you feel bad about it. They gaslight you. And they make you feel stupid, or they tell you you're a horrible friend. And then you sit there going, oh man, am I? No. When someone tries to make you feel bad, literally stop and think about where you're at. Think about, what you've done for all these people. I had a toxic person in my life, but interestingly enough, they're still kind of in my life, but in a very less present capacity because I pulled away. It doesn't hurt that I don't go to work every day. And I don't mean to say that because it kind of narrows it down to a few certain people. But I put my foot down and I said something. And they didn't agree with me. But I realized they're a hurt person that was hurting people. So hurt people, right? Hurt people, hurt people. And this was a hurt person who was hurting people. And they didn't realize it because they were in so much pain. But when I pulled away, when I backed off, all of a sudden things started to change because I think maybe they realized, I missed that shiny, bright star in my life. Oh, I can be so dumb sometimes. But, and no, that's not negative self-talk. I'm just kind of making fun of myself. Well, I guess it kind of is, isn't it? But, like I said, we're not perfect. So, stay away from drama and negativity. You don't need it. We don't need it. Who needs that kind of stuff in there? Who needs that in their life? Nobody does. And like I said, that doesn't always mean you're going to cut the toxic people out of your life. Sometimes if you redirect, that's the word I was looking for earlier. Sometimes when you redirect, they may actually open their eyes and see it and go, oh, But if it is a person that just brings nothing to the table except anger and drama and negativity and just just kind of sucks the life out of you. The energy suckers. Just walk away. Walk away because they have a lot of work to do, or they just don't care and don't think anything's wrong with them. And you don't deserve to have to keep picking up their pieces and feeding them with your energy. All right. And number 12, love. Love. Love with all your heart. Love the people around you. Most importantly, love yourself. Because my last note I put on here is happiness is a choice. I know when we have a dinged up mental health, it's not always the easiest thing in the world, but happiness is a choice. And we have to choose that. Do we choose to be happy, or do we choose to keep sitting in the mental muck that we put ourselves in? Do we choose to keep sitting in that mental bog of sadness and eternal grief and pain and blah? It's up to us. To me, certain types of grief have no timetable. When you lose somebody, you just, when you lose somebody you truly, truly loved. It took me a long time to get to a point in my grief with my mom and Sissy that sometimes it hurts. Sometimes, I laugh at certain memories. But it took me a long time to get to a place where I knew it was okay to be happy when I had memories of them. And there are times when I have that sadness. My birthday was hard, but mostly because, actually I should say that the days going up to my birthday were hard because I miss my mom. And, obviously for the first 40 years of my life, my mom was there for all my big birthdays. And then when I turned 40, right before I turned 42, she was gone. She was gone. And I'm grateful because I had actually flipped my birthdays from my friend's birthday this weekend to my family and friend's birthday this weekend in San Diego. And I'm grateful for that because it's actually my mom's birthday. And my mom would have been 75 this year. So, yeah, she probably would have killed me if I said that out loud to that she was still alive. But no, my mom would have been 75 this year. And so I thought, wow, what better day to spend it than to spend it with people who knew my mom and people who also loved my mom. And of course, my dad. I know he still has a lot of pain in there. He says he doesn't, but I can see it, because I know that look. But it'll be a good day. I'm going to make a little speech and then we're going to have fun. Because I got to a place now where it's always, when I talk about grief and I talk about people who have lost somebody, even before I lost somebody, I remember the very first person I ever said it to was older sibling. And it just kind of flew out of my mouth. But I hear it a lot now, especially after my mom died. You'll never get over it, but you'll learn to live with it. And the fact that something that profound came out of my mouth when I had never really lost anybody super significant in my life was huge. Because her mom was the first real person that was significantly important, who I loved and cherished, that had died in my life. And I just remember telling her, you'll never get over it, but you'll learn to live with it. And I finally got to a place where I've learned to live with it. And for me, that's peace. Sad times, yeah. Fun times, yeah. But right now, my fun memories are outnumbering my bad memories and my sad memories. And it's just, I think when we say that, we learn to live with it, we learn to live with the idea that we can't pick up the phone and talk to them anymore, that we can't, get in the car and go see them unless it's in a graveyard. Or in siblings' respect, a graveyard in another state, or, the ocean where her father is. But, we could go visit her stepmom, which we should do more often. But, that's kind of my take on grief. And I'm not really sure where that came from or why it came into this, because I was talking about happiness being a choice. But maybe that's also a thing for self-care. To stop beating ourselves up. Don't worry about what you feel. Did I do enough when they were alive? Did I not do enough while they were alive? I should have been better at this. I should have been better at that. You can drive yourself crazy all day long thinking about what you shoulda, your couldas, your wouldas. But you can't fix those things. So don't beat yourself up about it. They didn't love you any less. If you had that much love in your heart for somebody that passed away, that means there was something still in them that connected you to them, that made you love them, that made them proud of you. And I think I'm speaking mostly to the parent-child relationship. But I know a lot of times we want to sit there and rake ourselves over the coal and say, well, I should have been there more. I should have done this. I should have visited more. We can do that all day. Like Captain America says, I can do this all day. I can do this all day. Right? But, basically, I love it in Endgame when he's fighting himself, which is kind of a good metaphor, right? I can do this all day. It's like, oh, okay, you stole my line. But how often do we fight ourselves on things like this? Pretty brutally, right? We beat ourselves up. We beat our emotional senses up like crazy with all the would've, should'ves, and could'ves. If it's in your past and you can't control it, and you can't fix it, and you can't do anything about it. Let it go. Whether it's something you feel you should have done when someone was alive, or maybe it was a failed project, or maybe you took a detour on your road in life. I think this is good for me too to remember my woulda, coulda, shoulda. Because if you're alive, your should-haves are still there. But would have, could have, didn't. It's okay. You can redirect. You can redirect. And by maintaining the self-care of your mental senses and capacity, you're giving yourself a big space to redirect, to make that big wide U-turn. All right. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. I am hoping beyond hope that I'm going to be able to download this video today. I don't know what's been happening with my computer, but it's been crazy. But I'll see you back here tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Facebook Live. I think because I am busy on Friday, I may do the Aloha Oracle tomorrow. So we'll see what happens, okay? If I can't come up with anything for tomorrow, for things to think on Thursday. Oh, wait, no, I did have something for tomorrow, so never mind. We'll see what happens, okay? But tomorrow's kind of up in the air. There will be a show, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Facebook Live, under Shelly Marie Lucas. All lives are public. Anybody can watch. Or you can find, Lori Bradford. I didn't know you were on. I can only see one eyeball, so I don't know who's still on and who's not. But, I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. And Lori, thank you for being you, Lori Bradford, who just said thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for it being inspiring and just being a really kind person. She's been through things in life, and yet still she's right there for everybody. And I love that. And, I'm grateful to know her and call her friend. So, again, tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can catch it on YouTube. And you can catch these on all the links going across social media or my Facebook page, the Aloha Perspective. So again, hopefully this will upload. Okay. So again, have a great day, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. And please take care of your mental health. Whether you have a dinged up mental health or not, take care of your mental senses. Have a great day.